Okay, yeah, Woody, you're great to see you again. Last
Good to
time we
be here.
spoke, yeah, last time we spoke about about Jodeci and their debut album, Forever My Lady. And I thought, and I still remember when we did have our interview, and you said there were two groups that really influenced you, and when you guys started your group back in the day, and it was Jodeci and it was Boyz II Men, and how yourself and Cisco had actually had both had the tapes, and you swapped them around. So I think he had Boyz II Men and you had Jodeci and stuff.
Yep.
Um, I recently just listened to Boyz II Men on Questlove, and they were telling him that they actually most of the songs on their Cooleyhighharmony album they wrote in high school, or
hmm
and sometimes they brought. I mean, so that's I didn't realize there were songwriters and stuff, but as a recording artist, what was your impression of when you first heard of Boyz II Men?
And just clean harmony and the song, the first album,
Yeah.
the feel that was on that first album, that was my favorite. Like the other stuff might have been more commercially successful, like
Oh,
when
the
they came
second
back
album
out
too.
after
Yeah.
End of the Road and I'll Make Love to You and all that stuff was maybe more commercially successful.
Yeah.
But I felt the soul in that first album. And shout out to Dallas Austin. I seen a bunch of interviews of him where as though he was talking about the role he played, and then the group, what do they call it? The characters with Troy Taylor and his partner Charles, and like
Yes,
those
yes.
songs, like man, like I remember me and Cisco used to stand at the bottom of the school and sing not This Is My Heart. What's the other song? Your Love.
Okay, your
We used to sing
love.
Your
Yeah,
Love at the end
yeah.
of like at the bottom of the school, and girls used to just rush and just stand there and listen. And then This Is My Heart was my cut too. We belong together. The love I feel is strong, and I wouldn't take the world for exchange of these feelings I have inside of me. That was man, and that during Sean. Oh my goodness, man! Like how smooth he was able to do his vocals and just those riffs and stuff that he did. Like Wanye is dope. Wanye is super dope. Wanya's super dope and he always take it home. But for
Yeah.
me, like I'm always like I said with Jodeci, K is the man, and he get up there and could just stretch his arms out, and everybody go crazy. But JoJo, when JoJo would creep up there and do his part or hit a little riff or something behind him and stuff like that, that's when I get hyped. Like not that I wasn't hyped when K was singing too, but
Yeah.
and the same with them, like when Wanya do it, taking it to church and stuff like that, I'll get hyped. But when Sean come in, man. That's it for me. Like he's one of my like, but my Mountain Rushmore is like him, JoJo, Stevie
Wow.
Wonder. Who else? Marvin Winans. It's more than five probably, but it's
But
no, it's
then,
about five. But yeah,
so what is it about Sean Stockman? What is it about his vocals that you really appreciate?
it's like I put it like this. Like you got your singers that what they say they sing a girl out their panties. And a lot of times that's the guy with the rough voice or the hard voice or the
Yeah.
loud voice, or, take them off and all that type of stuff. I
Teddy
like I
Pendergrass, yeah.
love all them guys and I respect them, but my whole thing is the guys that can finesse them out the panties, that sing real smooth and just like
Mm.
soft and smooth and like just still. Like in like the Bible is a story about it. Say when the Lord spoke, it said he wasn't in the. And I'm sorry for talking about panties and then talk, but again, the Song of Solomon in the Bible is a love song, and that's one of the great. It's by the King Solomon. He was a great king, great
Yeah.
man of the Most High, and he was a great lover. But it's like the people always think that the big voice is the voice of the Lord, but it said when he spoke, they said the thunder came, and the
Yeah.
Lord was not in that thunder. The lightning came, he was not in the lightning. The big strong wind came, he was not in the wind. But after that, it was the still small voice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just really, really a fan of people that got the real chill voices. And some people may not take notice and stuff like that, but that's the voices that I take because they make you pay attention because they're not going to yell for you. They're going to sing it real soft and smooth and make you have to come to where they at and pay attention to hear
Mm.
what they're doing. And when it's usually something worth doing. And that's what I always strove to do myself,
So what
just to
was your
be that
favorite
still
song
small.
on that on Coolie High? What was your top five songs on that album? Because
And
we have, and I'm gonna go through them just in case. Please don't go. That's my Lonely Hearts.
Only
This is
Heart is definitely one of them.
this is my
Yeah,
heart.
this is my heart. Definitely, that's the one I was just trying to sing a little piece of. Yeah, I love that one.
Okay.
That's one of my all-time favorite. That little things.
Yeah,
That's the one that sang by itself, Little Things.
there's
It's so hard to think
Uha.
about it
It's so
yesterday
hard to
because
guess it. Yeah.
that was one that we sung all the time. Like that's how we kind of like way that we hone some of our harmonies and stuff. Like in practice, we would say that one. That
So
was
you,
one of the first ones we got down pat.
so you had Under Pressure,
So
simply.
simping, yeah, definitely simping, and especially now. Like at that time, it wasn't one of my favorites, but now that subject matter, man, I can't stand a simp, so I will put that on. As soon as I see somebody simping, I will either put it on or I will sing it
Oh,
for them.
what does the song mean? I didn't.
A simp is a guy, what they call it, I can't remember exactly what the acronyms are, but it's a guy who's willing to do anything and like go out of his way just to please females and think that he's
Uh,
gonna get something from them for real. You know, like
okay.
it's not genuine. He's not genuinely being nice because he just love women, but he wants something from her. And we know what he wants. And it's like he just willing to do anything. Like he willing to throw his homeboys under the bus. He willing to try to embarrass his homeboys or give all his paycheck and stuff to the point where he won't even have nothing to eat. He get a girl all his food and stuff like that, just hoping he gets something. And eventually, most of the time, he don't even get none. He the good one that gets
Okay.
something, the guy that don't do none of that stuff. But he
Wow.
doing all the wrong things for a girl. And as they said, simping ain't easy. Get on your hands and knees and lift your eyebrows. That's some rough stuff, man.
Okay.
Who telling that simping ain't where it's at. Like, look, try breaking even with me. Meet me, yeah, said play fair.
Yeah, and I'm just realizing that my favorite on the album was Lonely Hearts.
Yeah, that was
Um,
dope. That melody is
yeah,
unparalleled.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was written by Nate and
Yeah, you would think Nate would write something like that because
yeah,
Nate just the look of him and just his demeanor just seemed like he just like kind of abstract with his like, and he go like to a place that everybody else wouldn't go like melodically,
yeah.
you
So
know.
he wrote "Please Don't Go." He wrote "Lonely Heart." "This Is My Heart" was written by Wanye and Sean. "Uha" was
See,
written by Nate Wanye. It's so let me see.
the sequel. Oh my goodness, the sequel one, not the one that's on the original Cooleyhighharmony, but if you got the updated version, the sequel, the "In a Minute We'll Be Finished." Was I all that you hoped and dreamed? Was it strong enough? Man, that's one that, man, you sing that one in a talent show or something. You sing that, you don't go home with something. Something wrong. Yeah, that was one of those ones, man. Like that was a song because that was the thing about Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men was more cool, known for being like cool and like the preppy and everything. And Jodeci was the ones when you with my boy the dictator, not the dictator, but Boy Red, what do you say, sexy time. That's when you put the Jodeci on. But that was a song that could have went in there with the sexy time right along with the Jodeci records.
It's
That
mainly
was the
because
sexy record.
the album came out. I mean, the singles were released. I mean, I mentioned the Jodeci, "Forever My Lady." The March is when they released the "Gotta Love."
Mm-hmm.
Motown Philly came out in April,
Okay.
and
Kind of
then
like us in 112.
okay, and then "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye" came out in August, and then "For My Lady" came out in August. But the you could see that the trajectory where the Uha came out in November and stay. So it was almost as if Uptown sort of piggybacked off of the success of Boyz II Men to push the Jodeci stuff. But I think what pushed Jodeci over the Boyz II Men over was its "End of the Road" that became a
Yeah.
global
On
hit
that
and stuff.
soundtrack. Yes, indeed. Babyface and Daryl and LA and them, man, yeah, they definitely gave him one with that one.
But then when you guys was listening to Cooleyhighharmony and then you were listening to For My Lady, did you then have a point where you guys decided the direction of the old your group Drew Hill? Did you think we're gonna move the Jodeci direction or should we incorporate Boyz II Men when you guys had both albums and thought, wow, which direction do we model ourselves after?
I think it was just took elements from both that we appreciated. Like it was the elements, and both of them had things that we could learn from. It's like going to two different teachers in school. Like you got your math teacher, you got your reading teacher. And it's like you learning stuff from both sides. So it's like you try to implement like the best qualities or the qualities that we think to be the best qualities from both and try to bring them into what we do. and then somewhere in the middle, in between there, we had like Intro was very influential too. The group Intro, Kenny
Okay.
Green,
Kenny
rest in
Green,
peace to
yeah,
Kenny
yeah.
Green. Yeah, like his
Buddy
harmonies and stuff
okay.
that he did was like very intricate too. Because like Boyz II Men had like their harmony was similar to like Take Six, and they
Yeah,
had like a lot of like the school harmony, like harmony stuff that you go to school to learn how to do.
yeah.
And Jodeci was more church. Like they harmonies was the harmonies that you hear your church choir singing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's like if you blend them somewhere in between, then you get what Kenny Green was doing. So then it's like we just tried to make a whole what they call like gumbo pot with all the best elements from both. And
Mm.
like the people who were over top of us, like as far as like labels and stuff, they would try to push more towards the Boyz II Men way because it was more like I was saying when we talked about Josie, like that was the more like seemed to have the more pop appeal at the time.
Mm.
And they want the most record sales, so they would push us away from certain things and stuff like that. Try to push us away from it, but it's like we always felt that we wanted to do, so we still ended up doing. But it was times where as though we'd get outfits that look just like something that Josie would wear. Like they'll give us a budget to go get our own outfits, and we'd go get the clothes, and they be like, "Y'all not wearing that? Where y'all wearing that at? Y'all could wear it in the street when y'all go hang out with y'all peoples or whatever. Y'all not wearing that on stage. Y'all better
Ah.
put this on there." That's why a lot of times y'all seen us with them silk pajamas and stuff on
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
we
Is
would
that
buy like jeans and boots and vests and stuff like that. And they was
okay?
like, "Nope, y'all got them pajamas upstairs. Go ahead in them suitcase and get them pajamas out. That's what y'all wearing. Y'all not wearing that."
It's interesting because when I listened to the interview with Sean Wanya and Nate, they said that Nate in particular said he was angry that they had them look like preppy boys because he was more like Jodeci. That was his. He was that's them.
That's what
That's
I try to tell people, not to cut you off, but it's a meme that was like, I know that it's a females posted a lot. It's like, I know my choice in males was all messed up when I picked Jodeci over Boyz II Men. And the whole time I'm sitting there like, yo, Boyz II Men's from Philly.
yeah,
They
yeah,
might have sat there and looked like that in front of the audience because that was their job. Like basically them clothes they had on was like they work uniforms.
yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
you see them chilling, like when we were running the Boyz II Men, like places where as though they weren't getting ready to perform and stuff like that, they look just as urban and just as slick as Jodeci for real. Like that's
Yeah.
just what they had to wear to work. But you know what I noticed too, and I don't know if you have noticed something of the same. And it's not to say that rappers are not tough or whatever, but it's like, man, you got a lot of R&B singers that in real life go harder than the people that sing about going hard. Like the people that sing the most lovey-dovey songs, in
Yeah.
real life, they be the most go hard people. And like some of
Wow.
the people that sing the most go hard records be the ones that, just singing about doing all the rough stuff. They the ones that's laid back. You hear stories like this rapper girlfriend, like, oh, he's a perfect gentleman. Oh, he's a cuddly teddy bear at home and stuff like that. But on the record, they talking about I dug this bee and I do this and I do that. And then you got a guy that sing about giving a girl everything and going up to the sky and grabbing a cloud and bringing it back to us so she could wear it as a fur coat or whatever. He the one to be acting rough and acting wild for real.
Yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
a
Okay.
lot of that stuff is a lot like on top of being an artist, on top of being a musical artist, a lot of times you gotta be an actor too. And you gotta play a certain role and you gotta be a certain way. Like even with me, you see how much when we talk, I never have a problem articulating myself and talking and stuff. But if you notice on our interviews, I never said anything because
Wow.
like we had a certain set list of things that we were supposed to say. And some of the stuff they told us to say wasn't true. And I'm not a fan of lying. Like I would lie to save my life or to, say, stuff like that, but just lying to be lying. Why would I sit there and say I'm 19? Well, I'm saying I'm like 17 or 18 or whatever when I know I'm 19. And why would I sit there and say this person is this age when I know they older than me? When I'm the second youngest in the group and I'm saying that I'm older than this person and this person because I was the first one to start growing facial hair.
Wow. So this, I
Like,
mean,
come
this
on
is,
now.
and I guess that's the thing, because when I did interview After Seven and I asked Keith, the rumor we got was that you were LA's cousin, and then Kevon and Kevon
All
and
both the other two is Melvin and Kevon is
Mavon and Kevin
Babyface
that they were
brothers.
babyface
Yeah.
brother, but then
Mhm.
but that Keith was the cousin of L.A. Reid, so it was like, okay, two
Yeah, the first
families.
time I heard that was on your show. That's the first time. That was exclusive for me. That's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, but that was what, that was the rumor that came out, and he said, yeah, that was what was said to put to really give the group the dynamics of L and Babyface, their brothers and cousins, formed a group.
Wow.
So that, like, wow, let's, that gave it its spark and stuff. So I can understand how, because I always, when I listen to Boyz II Men do interviews, and they're sometimes they're swearing and they're talking, I'm thinking, but Boyz II
they
Men,
real niggas. They real
yeah,
real dudes. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
I'm like, you're
saying niggas,
supposed,
but yeah, they real dudes, man.
yeah, you're supposed to be like the Cosby Show. Why you sound like Martin? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but at the time,
Mike a real dude, man. I remember meeting Mike. You know Mike from Boyz II Men, the bass.
Yeah.
I remember him and being surprised at how funny he was, like how he was like cracking jokes and stuff, because like we were just hanging with him at the Impact Music Festival, which was like the first place that we performed in front of industry people and stuff. And like we ended up meeting, like me and Cisco at that time, like we was like the rebels. Like the other two guys was like by the book, strictly by the book. All right, y'all say we gotta go be in bed by 10 o'clock. We gonna be in bed by 9:30. We going to room at 9:30. Man, Cisco used to like sneak out and go. One time we snuck out of Philly and rode the train to Brooklyn just to say we went to where Biggie was from or whatever. And then it was time at the Impact Festival. We snuck out our rooms and went down and ended up running into the Boyz II Men, running into Sean and Nate, I think it was. But then later on, we saw him again. Then they remembered us from the last time, and then Mike was there this time, and just like the jokes and stuff that he cracked was just like stuff that we would say, just like real stuff, like it wasn't all like watered down and all goody goody and stuff like that. Like he just was a real dude, like, and that's how they always came across to me. But in order for the public, like rappers, they say MC Hammer. And I don't know him. I never met MC Hammer. I would love to be there. He was one of my favorites in that time. But they say MC Hammer was really like that. Like he was a G. Like it's other rappers that we know to be supposed to be like tough rappers that said that one guy said that MC Hammer made them apologize for something that they said about him in one of their raps or whatever. They said he met them when they got to MC Hammer City, him and all of his people or whatever surround him and like made him apologize. And you wouldn't think that from the way MC Hammer with the big teeny pants and dancing and grinning and stuff like that. Like I said, them people that's like that, they the ones that be the most thorough in real life, and the ones who looking tough. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, the ones that look the toughest be the most chill and non-confrontational in a lot of situations. Not saying that in every situation, because some people look like that and really is like that, but.
Yeah, I mean that's as I said. I just listened to the interview today, and it just always shocks me just hearing them swear and stuff. But when if we go back to Cooleyhighharmony before we sort of finish and stuff, I mean, overall, did you then, when you had both Forever My Lady and Cooleyhigh, did you think, which album did you think actually was more impactful as an as a young artist thinking about a career? Did you think, which are the two groups, and at that early stage, based on the albums?
I just thought, to be totally honest, my standpoint, I always wanted to sing Jodeci songs more because it's just the emotion that it evoked from the ladies. Like I said, like I put it this way: you wanted to hear Boyz II Men, you wanted to hear their music, you wanted to sit there and listen to them sing, but you wanted to be a part of Jodeci. For me, you wanted to be a part of, like, you wanted to be the fifth member of Jodeci. You wanted to sing for Boyz II Men, like maybe aspire to meet Boyz II Men and sing for them and have them critique your vocals. Like I said, like they was like school taught and professionally trained and stuff. So you might want to meet Boyz II Men and have them tell you like, hey man, hey Sean, what should I do different? What can I do to improve my technique and stuff like that? That's what I got from Boyz II Men. But Jodeci, I just felt like I belonged there anyway because I was a church boy too. Growing up as a church boy, and then I wanted to sing raw and get the ladies, and I was skinny at the time. I was like, man, shit, I want to take my shirt off, take my tongue out. Too. I want to do what y'all doing for real. Like, my whole wardrobe was everything Josie had. Like, you wanted to be a part of the whole movement. Boyz II Men, I just wanted to listen to their music and, just soak in all the music and learn. Like, it was almost like really going to school. Like, I'm learning stuff, vocal techniques and new riffs and runs and stuff from them. Jodeci, I'm like, it's more like, I wonder would they like this that I'm doing or whatever. Like, would they like this running? What they think about this? Would they tell me do more of this? Or they tell me, I wanted to learn from both, but I just wanted to be a part of Jodeci. Boys and Men. I want to be cool with Boys and Men and be accepted by them, where I could go through and dap them up and give them a 5. And we actually did get to do that. Like when they did their Evolution album, they called the record label and told the president of the record label to keep us there and don't tell us why, like to have us come up to the label and don't tell us why we were coming. And when we got there, they previewed that album for us and like actually they asked for our critique and like what we like, what songs we liked, or what did we like about it and stuff like that. And really like were attentive and paid attention to what we said back. So they kind of embraced us the same way as big brothers. And if you notice, when they won, I think it was American Music Awards. And when they won the award, Nate, I think it was, got on the microphone and was like, man, with all due respect, I thank y'all for this award, but this was Drew Hill year.
Wow.
They should have won this award. So it's like, it was the mutual love and respect for both of those groups. Like sometimes, like I have a friend, well, one of my former friends always used to say, never meet your heroes. And a lot of times when you meet your heroes and the people that you look up to, you'll not like them anymore. Like they'll say something rude or they'll be like just something off-putting or something like that where you sorry you met them and you wish you just knew them from what you knew of them and on TV or whatever like that. But I have to say that in meeting both of those groups, Jodeci and Boyz II Men, it was never anything but mutual love and respect, you know, like all the way across the board, you know, like they showed nothing but love.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I got pictures with, I don't have my picture with Boyz II Men. A lot of my photo album, because I made it a point, that's what I always did. I was like the historian. I always took pictures with everybody. But a lot of my pictures over the years, like somebody either saw it in the album and stole it, or I lost certain albums or put it down for a minute. When I take it back up and go to look through it, a certain pictures gone and stuff like that. But it's like whenever I asked any of them for a picture, they always obliged. And like the ones that, you know, like Casey and Joe, like I told you, they family lived right down the street, so they would always have me come down and stuff. And when my mom passed away, Casey and JoJo and their mom and sister sent a bouquet to my house and stuff like that. So it's like to be able to look at somebody on television and look up to them and even pattern a part of your whole self, your younger self to them, because when you get older, you just become yourself. But when you don't know what direction you want to go and they gave me some direction, and to have these people actually meet them in real life and they actually know who you are and they actually care who you are and can actually tell you something, you know, and show you love and show you respect and stuff like that. Like when we went to see Casey and JoJo in the play here, they made a point to make sure that like my dad and I had like front row seats to watch them in the play and stuff like that. And same with Boyz II Men, they had us come up to their studio and played us Uncle Sam before Uncle Sam came out.
Oh yeah, Uncle
like
Sam.
That.
Yeah.
So I'll just say it's a blessing to have been able to meet my heroes and it not be a bad experience and not be like, damn, I'm sorry I met them. Like I wish I just met them on TV and on the radio. So nothing but love for both those groups and for what they contributed and to what they still continue to contribute. Because Boyz II Men is still out. They still have their the thing in Vegas, whereas though they have the shows that people come out.
Yeah, but also doing the orchestra. So I think they're doing performance with a live orchestra right now as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, much respect to them for still keeping it going and still sounding great. I heard that Sean had an album out a couple of years ago, and I downloaded that, and I was thoroughly impressed by that. And you know, like Jodeci, their recent ventures and stuff like that, they sounded great on that tour. Even though I didn't get to hear them in person, but I heard online they sounded great on that tour. So it's like, man, I'm just happy to see them still doing it, man.
Well, as we finish with this segment, I mean, Cooleyhighharmony, was there a song on that album that you would sing regularly?
Man, like I said, man, Cisco used to sing Your Love at the bottom of the steps in school, and then This Is My Heart, the one I was singing a little piece of, like that was when I sang regularly out of sequel. Yeah, man. Them joints to this day, man. I still go to a karaoke and get up front and sing one of them joints. But in my head make me say, please don't go. That one, that's a tough one. You gotta be. So you can't drink before you sing that because you gotta transition in between falsetto and your falsetto and your regular voice and
I
stuff.
remember when Mike sings, the closer and the closer I get to you, there's me warm and
Yeah.
So
No,
please.
I was
Stay.
supposed to be a baritone, so I always wanted to sing on first, but it was always another guy in the group that could sing deeper than me, like my homie Mike. Then we had the homie Glenn. So I was like, man, if I see somebody doing something better than me, I'm like, hey, you got it. Just
Yeah.
save me my little piece somewhere there. Like when my old group came back with jazz, I was like, hey, he got it. I was like, well, just save me a little piece here and there where I can get in. Save me a little ad lib here and there. So,
The thing is, I heard from Nate. He said that he was at home and he was probably not the TV was on, and he heard I drank your wine, and he
oh,
just
that's it.
and he dropped everything, said, and he listened to it. He said, who stole the formula? Because he said,
Didn't Mark sing with them though, right? Mark Nelson was in
so
Boyz
when
II
he
Men at one
watched the
point.
video, he saw Mark in the video, and he said he stole our secrets because Mark was with them back in the early days. So he was like,
Right.
because he says, as yet, we're the closest to Boyz II Men that he's ever heard. And he just thought that, and then he called, I think he said he called Wanye to say, Mark's stolen our secrets. And he's just, I mean, almost as if they thought that this was it, that this could
Wow.
be the end of them because, this is a
Oh,
new
really?
group. Yeah, it was because
Wow.
they because he said because they had the whole gamut, the five of them, the harmonies and everything, and they had that big track.
You were dope.
It was just the problem that As Yet had was the fact that LA and Babyface were having their they were pretty much working out in LA. LA was in Atlanta. They weren't really officially, they were signed to LaFace, but they weren't part of LaFace. And so they didn't really push and promote them. So the industry changed. So they had their own in-house politics. So if not, they could have just blown up. But yeah, it was just interesting to hear that. But just as we finish this section of Boyz II Men, just, final reflections on Cooleyhighharmony.
Man, one of my, like I said, same with My Lady, like still to this day, an album that I would just put on and do whatever I had to do and not worry about changing, skipping tracks and turning this one on. Oh, no, I don't want to hear this one. I don't want to hear that one. Like I just put it on and let it rock. Of course, some I love more than other ones, and some I might get replayed. Hold up, we got to run that one back. But as far as like a whole project, super solid project, my favorite from Boyz II Men, except for Doing Just Fine. If Doing Just Fine was on that album, then it definitely would be just like hands down because I love that song. That's one of the songs you usually hear the guy always going after the girl like, oh girl, I'm a wreck and I'm a mess and I can't breathe and can't walk and can't talk because you ain't with me. Nah, man, they say I'm doing just fine, getting along very well without you in my life. And I feel like guys needed to hear that after all the simping that was going on the radio and still continues to go on. But it was good to hear some guys stand up for themselves. For
yeah, well, we're going to talk Dave sophomore albums, both Jodeci and Boyz II Men, in a different episode, so it'll be good to come back to that. But guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and share and comment and all that stuff. But yeah, definitely, this is next time, as I said, we'll talk sophomore albums of both Jodeci and Boyz II Men. But yeah, okay, fine, okay, take care, guys.
Baby. Go ahead, Daddy. You're jingling, baby.